I was born and raised in Vietnam, and in a family that deep rooted in Buddhism for many generations. And I immigrated here in 1991. And then I go on and get my bachelor in electrical engineer in UCLA and a master in computer engineering in Santa Clara here. I've been working as a software engineer for a few companies up in the Bay Area here, like Sony, Cisco, and now Amazon. Back when I was very young, I have a love for Buddhism. Maybe starting out with my parents, be very devout. And I started reading some Buddhist books and scriptures, and I developed a love for it. I love Buddhism for Buddha's teaching of compassion, peaceful livings, and all that. And I feel like it's really matched with my character. And I at that time, I thought that Buddhism is the best religion for humanity. And every day I chant scriptures. When I was about 12, 13, I started reading and I chanting and I pray to Buddha every night. And I feel like I want to seek him. And I thought that when I grow up, if I cannot become a monk, then I probably just practice at home.
Oh.
And that's and I just feel it's right, and I believe in the reincarnation, and I try to live a life that keep the 5 moral precepts. So I would say that I'm a good kid, and my past is pretty tranquil, pretty smooth. It's no not so eventful, I would say. So at that time when we came on an HO program. My father worked for the U.S. Army, and he went to prison for 10 years. So we come here, the first thing we just try to establish a new life here. And that's why I just focus on studying. When in 2001, through a Christian friend, he introduced me to ladies who later become my wife, but at that time, I talked to her for a little bit, and I know that she is Christian. So I just shut up. I was just like stunned. I didn't know what to say, because I didn't want to get involved with Christian. Because back when I was young, we have many encounter and not so pleasant encounter with Christians. And they always come and try to talk to us to follow their religion. The way that they approach is pretty offensive, I would say. It's like they always think that our
right.
religion is nothing and they are number one. So I rejecting. So that's why somehow it developed in me that I'm not going to get married to a Christian woman. But here she is. I asked her and she says she's Christian. Now you sit there and didn't want to talk. But then I guess I don't know what happened. I mean, love have a strange way of connecting, and we got married in 2003. But I gave her 3 prenuptial conditions. First, I'm not going to convert. I will stay Buddhist. Second, the wedding will not be held at church. Okay, no praying blessing to Jesus or whatever. The third, after she get married, she's not going to be allowed to go to church anymore. So that's why the first 3 years we lived like that. I have picture, I took her to temples and all that. She didn't bow to Buddha, but I took her there because we have to go together. And life goes on, and it's what I planned. But then 2006 is 3 years after we had our first daughters. And during those 3 years, I noticed she gradually changed for the worse. She more bitter, more resentful, and unloving and unforgiving. I guess because when she realized that I was so strong in my faith, and I'm not gonna boast, I'm not gonna please her by going to church and all that, then she get upset. She feel like she's stuck, and she regretted it or something. So one day she come back and she said, I feel like I'm losing myself. I used to be a very loving woman, but now I feel like I'm losing it. I'm so bitter, I'm so unloving. I need to go back to church, because without church, I'm that kind of person. I was so furious. I said, what are you talking about? We have the prenuptial. I'm not allowed you to do that. And she said, I don't know what to do because I'm losing myself. And I'm saying, I'm going to divorce you if you go back. And I meant it. And so our relationship was cold for those weeks. But the thing is, she every Sunday she go to church and she come back. I noticed a positive change in her. She's more loving, she's more happy, and she's more caring. And I feel like I don't want any of her God, her Jesus, but I wanted that positive change. But I can't, it comes as one package.
Right.
You know, I feel torn, I don't know what to do. Right. I want one, but I don't want the other, but they come together.
Right.
So after a while, I thought, at that time, I thought the religion is just human concept. I didn't believe that there's actually a supernatural being that actually up there and watching us or something. I just thought that because Buddhism, we thought that everything is within us. We control and we do the good deeds and we determine how our future will be, right? And the next life will be. So I thought that, if Buddhism is for me, make me a better person, and my wife, Christianity, make her a better person, then let's just keep our own religions, our own belief. As long as we be a better person, live a good life together, then that'll be fine. So I told her, it's okay, you can, I'll let you go to church and we keep our own belief. But the kid have to be follow me, Buddhism. So she's okay with it. But then as she go back to church, she starting making new friends, and she invite me to meet her friends and meet the evangelist, the pastor, and they start like talking to me, like try to evangelize to me. But I reject them all. I didn't believe any of what they said. And the thing is, every Sunday, our family is torn, right? Because she go to church, and usually when she go on Sunday, in the middle of the day, then we can't do anything. We can't go beach or anything. And sometimes she take the kid, and I say no, the kid at home with me, and we both hold the hand, we pull the kid. And I feel so bad, and I say, we agree on already. The kid stay with me. Unless I'm travel or something, I am not home. So a lot of time we struggle. Every Sunday we struggle. A few times I get so upset that she go to church, I took the daughter to temple. I don't usually go to temple like Sunday, but for those times I just want it as a revenge. I just take the kid to the temple. Until 2009, she took me to a group at the church that I went. They call Community Church down in Center Road here, close by. This small group is different. They don't bash the Buddhist religion, and they don't really say that the Christianity is number one and all that. They just treat me as a friend. They just talk technologies and all that, and I feel fit in. And when they study the Bible, they just ask me if I want to join them. If not, then I would just sit in another room, do whatever, wait for my wife. Right? So I feel like these people respect what I believe, and I hang on more just for my wife to have a chance to meet them. And we go on like that for about 3 years, another 3 years. Every event in my life is 3 years apart. So 3 years, I keep going like that with them, and we get closer. Right? And we go and do charity work together, we travel together. They keep their belief, I keep mine, and we just still good friends. And then 2012, I get close with them enough that I said, okay, let me take you to church every Sunday. Okay, but you go in, I'll just sit outside. So she go in, she sings, he listen to sermon, I sit outside and I just play on my phone or something, waiting. A few Sunday, it getting so hot, and I couldn't sit outside anymore. So I went in. And I listened to the sermon. And the pastor preached, and he preached really good message about dead in Christ, about not being greedy and all that, right? So it's just do good deeds. when it finished, the pastor come out and asked me, so what do you think? Is that good? I said, yes, it's good. It's a really good message. The only problem is Buddhism have it all. Buddhism said the same thing. The only thing that I saw different is that Christianity believed that Jesus is the Son of God and God, right? And I don't. Jesus to me is like a really good moral teacher, but he's not God. And he is not Son of God and definitely not God. So they told me, okay, just go read the Bible and see what it said, right? And I didn't, I just, whatever they say, I just don't listen. So then my wife have a Bible in a nightstand. Once in a while I come by and I kind of wonder, what do these people talking about, right? What's in here that they really so fanatic about? So I just opened the Bible, just check it out. I just want to see what it is. And I've been go with them for a few years. I know there's a two part, like Old Testament and New Testament. So I opened the New Testament and I saw Jesus make the lame walk, heal make the blind see, and raise the dead. These people 2,000 years ago, they're so naive. They're so feeble mind. That's why they believe all this myth, right? Now with the advance of science and technology, who would believe in this thing? So I closed the New Testament and I said, okay, let's check out the Old Testament. I open out to Joshua. And Joshua and God say, yo, you gotta go into Jericho and all the other city. And wherever you go, you gotta kill everybody, young, old, woman, man, and children. I was shocked. I said, what kind of God is this? It's just so barbaric. Yeah. I can't worship a God like this. Look at Buddha. He's so benevolent. And I just closed the Bible and I said, I'm done with this, you know. And then 2013 or 13, yeah, I at my church that I went to, there's evangelist. He's now a pastor. He called Nam Kuk Trung. If you already heard him, right? At that time he's just an evangelist. So he came to my church and he shared a testimony. He shared that he used to be a drug addict and he's on the street when he was 14. So every word that he said, he cursed. And he been in and out of prison and rehab center like 14, 16 times or something. One day he lie on the street and craving for drug, and he didn't get drugs. So he saw one of his friends come by, and his face now looked really sober, really good, right? Really shiny. And he asked, "Oh, you used to be an addict like me. How come you changed so much? Your face looks so bright now. What happened?" And that friend said, "Oh, the Bible helped me." And he said that after reading for 1 week, he couldn't curse anymore. And after reading 2 months, he's out of addiction. And I look at that, I say, there's no way, you know? There's no way by human effort that you can be out of drug. That I know. So many people try. Human effort alone cannot do it. But now I know from his face, from what he shared, I know he's really out of it. And he keeps saying that the Holy Spirit helped him. I say, who is this Holy Spirit? I want to know. Yeah. But if this Holy Spirit is real, I want to know him. Because he's so powerful, he could change life. Then he left my church and nothing happened in my life. I feel, I got goosebumps on that day, but then after a year gone by, nothing happened and everything back to normal. And then at the end of 2014, suddenly one day I sit in church and suddenly I feel like I get angry at myself.
Wow.
I say, why do I spend the best part of my Sunday, every Sunday, go to this place, watching a bunch of fanatic people standing up and down, jump up and down, and worship a God that I don't believe. I said, something got to change. I can't go on like this. I either believe there's a God and I love him, I worship with him, with these people, or I just quit. I cannot waste my time like this. And every end of the year, people have a New Year resolution. So I remember that at the end of that 2014, I said, okay, my 2015 New Year resolution, I will read the Bible from cover to cover. Wow. Every day, about 15 to 30 minutes. I don't know when I'm going to finish it, but by the end of the year or when I finish it, then I'll just re-examine myself. And if I still don't believe in what the Bible said, then I'm done with Christianity. Nobody gonna come and tell me about Christianity anymore. So my wife heard about the plan. So she told me, honey, this is not a regular book. It's a holy Bible. So when you read, you have to pray for the Holy Spirit to guide you. Don't just read. I was just laughing and teasing her. I said, come on, it's just a book to me. Right. So I say, okay, you want to pray? I'll pray. So I pray a very simple but truthful prayer. And I say, God, you know that I don't believe you. Yeah. You know that I'm a stubborn guy, but I'm not a stupid guy. So if you are real, please show yourself to me. By accepting my prayer, or do some miracle in my life, and I believe you. And then I read. I remember just 3 weeks after I read, miracle happened. I remember vividly, it was January 24, 2015. I usually set alarm to wake up at 7 a.m. in the morning to go to work. But that day I woke up at 5. And I couldn't sleep enough. I tried to put myself back to sleep. I just lying there, closing my eye, and I saw in my mind a vision go by that 2003, I get married to a Christian woman, my wife. 2006, she said she go back to church, and we almost divorced. 2009, I met a group that I hang out with. 2012, I start taking her to church and listen to sermon. In 2015, I start reading the Bible. You see, every 3 years, things happen. And I was surprised. I said, if this is the rewire of my past, so why how come all the time that I hang out with my Buddhist friend, I didn't see it? So many times I went to the temple, I didn't see it. It's only Christianity related. And I said, what's going on? Kind of weird. But maybe because I start reading the Bible, I start getting hallucinated or something, you know. I said, let's forget it. I ignored it. The next day, the 25th of January, I woke up again at 5. Wow. Yeah, and tears just come every day. I forgot to tell you, 24, I lie there, tears just coming out for no reason. So the same thing today, tears just flowing out my eyes, and I just laying there trying to sleep. It's just some feeling of some emotion just coming out and just tears flowing. And as I lie there in the vision, the same vision just replay again. But this time it's slower, and this time I hear some thoughts came and said that none of this is coincident, but all of this that I arranged so that you have today. I woke up, I was shaking, and tears just flowing even more. I don't understand who's just talking to me. Where did this thought come from? It's kind of weird. So that was Sunday, so I went to church, and another strange thing happened is I sit in that same place all the time, watching people worship, right? The worship team just jumping up and down, praising God. Before, I was just teasing them, and I just said that these people are fanatic. There's nobody in there that they look up and they say, God, I worshiped you and all that. There's nobody up there for you to look. I was just joking to them like that, just telling myself. But that day, I was crying nonstop. I don't know why. And I just sitting there just crying. And women sit around me, so many of them. I was so embarrassed. I couldn't control. I kept telling myself, stop, it's embarrassing. But I can't stop, it's just flowing. And one lady gave me the tissue and just tell me, oh, the Holy Spirit touched you already. I get scared. I didn't want to accept what she said. Because in my belief system, there's no place for the Holy Spirit. Everything is your own effort. There's no one who helps you. There's no supernatural being that helps you. Buddha will just show you the way. It's just you have to go do it. And I said, if I believe in the Holy Spirit, then I have to reevaluate all of my belief system because there's no place for the Holy Spirit. But if I don't believe in the Holy Spirit, then I can't explain what's going on with me right now. I can't. How come I can't stop crying? And I was torn. I got no way to go. I mean, I can't go forward. I can't go backward. I'm stuck. So after the sermon, I went to the kitchen at the church. We have fellowship. And one of the elder in my church at the time, his name was Nguyen. And I told him, I trust him, so I tell him everything. And he told me that, Hoang, the Holy Spirit touched you already. Do you want me to lead you through the sinner prayer and you accept me? I came to church long enough that I know the difference between blessing prayer and sinner prayer. And I know that he has invited me to step over the boundary and become a Christian. And I didn't want to do it. I think of my past and my family's Buddhist for a long time. People at church knew that I'm a Buddhist, and I kind of sort of anti-Christ. I don't believe in their message. I want to be outside Christian, inside Christian, outside a Buddhist. So I told him, no, let me think about it. I think I was just hallucinated. I want to reconfirm with really from God. So he just prayed a blessing prayer, and I go home, and I didn't regret it. I feel like it's fine. I can accept God at home, you know. So I went home, and the next morning, I woke up at 6 this time. This was January 26th, and I was crying again. Wow. This is the third time I cried. So I woke my wife up. I told my wife, this is the third time I cry like this for the past 3 days now. And I stand up and try to walk to the restroom. And as I stand up, I saw a vision running through my mind that I sat there in the kitchen telling my elder the story, and he invited me to pray and accept God. And I saw in my vision that I say no. Let me think about it to see if really from God or I'm just hallucinated. Right? And then suddenly that vision stopped right there, and I heard a voice, but I hear why. And then I was so shocked because my mind, I know it was blank at the time. I was still a little bit groggy, sleepy. So I kind of look up in the ceiling, try to process what's going on. Suddenly I heard, why not? And this time I hear really clear because I'm listening. And I was shaking. I told my wife, he put thoughts in my head. And as soon as I said that, I hear this time it's very loud, like thunder, saying, why didn't you do it? And this time I was shaking. I couldn't stand anymore. I feel like my leg losing strength. Right. And I was shaking, and I yelled. I told my wife, he put thoughts in my head, and I collapsed in bed and was shaking like I was having a seizure. Right? And my daughter, sleeping close by, just woke up, and later on she told me she never seen me cry like that before, ever.